his
How has
reasons
the
is reasonable.
Venezuelan crisis impacted your life? They're right over there. There's hundreds of them. How has that
You ever had
impacted?
anybody come into your house and say with you in your skin?
Is that what they're
I'm
doing?
talking about right here. It's cool if you know.
Wait, that's his actual voice, or he just like playing around?
Me llamo Tommy G. Estoy en Chicago con los Venezuelans.
Actually, let me switch it up. This is much better. Yeah.
University.
Wait.
I've never been to Chicago before.
Here talking to people, getting their stories. Enjoy this journey. To understand Chicago's migrant crisis, let's first start by covering what has been going on in the country responsible for most of the migrants, Venezuela. For years, Venezuela has been suffering from hyperinflation. It began in the 1980s with double-digit inflation, and in 2019, the Central Bank of Venezuela estimates that inflation reached over 53 million%. Among the list of reasons of why this has happened is rampant government corruption and extreme amounts of money printing. This has resulted in massive shortages of food, medicine, and access to electricity. So, in order to survive, millions of Venezuelans have resorted to fleeing to other countries for a chance at a better life. Places like Colombia, Panama, Peru, and the United States. To get to the United States, migrants have to brave the Darien Gap, where they not only have to contend with snake bites and drowning, but also armed paramilitary groups that prey on migrants. Then they have to pass through the Panamanian jungle on foot and have to survive going through Mexico.
I don't lie, as American citizen, right? We take being American citizens and the privilege and shit we have for granted, bro. Cause watching these countries and the things they gotta go through and shit, and like imagine just being in Israel, right? And being woken up to bombs, like hundreds of missiles landing on your country and shit. Like in America, you have this sense of peace and knowing like that won't happen, and I'm not saying won't happen, but the likelihood of that happening, yeah, it's non-existent. So
Mexico,
it's
where
crazy,
they may
bro.
be robbed and beaten by both Mexican police and cartel affiliates. And finally, they make it to the US. And in places like Texas, government officials have decided to bus migrants to sanctuary cities like New York and Chicago to deal with the issue. Today, we go into the migrant camps, speak to the people, and speak to local residents on how the crisis is affecting their life. Let's begin.
Chicago, Illinois, 11 a.m.
So we're downtown Chicago. This is the nice fancy area of the downtown, but hidden in plain sight is actually the hotel that's hosting the most migrants across the whole city. There are about 1,500 migrants in the Inn of Chicago, and that's going to be our first stop of the day to investigate this story and see what the hell is going on with this migrant crisis that's hitting the country. This is something that a lot of American cities are going to have to contend with. Chicago, New York.
So wait a minute. So you're trying to tell me, right? There's hella homeless people, right? All over in the cities and in different cities and stuff, all over, sleeping on sidewalks, tent everywhere, and migrants get to have like their own hotel. Why we can't do that for like homeless people? Like take them off the street, you know? Put them in like in a hotel or something. We got all this money and shit. Why we can't do something like that? That's kind of like messed up.
New York are in emergency situations. Their budgets are going crazy. They're going to be heavily in debt because of this crisis. We're going to have to figure out how we want to operate as a country. More than 17,000 migrants are currently calling Chicago home and are being housed in places like the O'Hare Airport, police stations, universities, and other temporary shelters, which leads some Chicago residents to wonder why they aren't helping Chicago's homeless in the same way that they're helping Chicago's migrants. Also, just a side note, a migrant is a
See, the same thing I was talking
person
about.
that is here on temporary work. I don't even know if the word migrant is the appropriate term for these Venezuelan folks. ¿Y dónde eres?
De Venezuela.
Mucha de la gente que están aquí son de Venezuela, ¿sí?
La mayoría, sí, señor.
¿Qué está ocurrido en Venezuela?
La situación económica, para la familia no hay nada.
¿Fue difícil encontrar un trabajo en Venezuela?
Muy difícil conseguir trabajo en Venezuela.
¿Qué fue tu trabajo antes de la crisis?
Construcción.
¿Qué es tu experiencia en América ahora?
Tengo un poco de haber llegado, pero es diferente a lo que uno uno está acostumbrado a ver, pues.
¿Cuántos días está en Estados Unidos?
Tengo una semana apenas que llegué
¿Qué quieres ser en tu futuro?
para poder estar aquí legalmente y conseguir un buen trabajo.
Señor, ¿quieres compartir tu cuenta?
That's one thing about like migrants and stuff. They just want a good life, bro. They're just trying to escape all like, you know, the bullshit and the mistreatment and stuff in their country. They just want a good life, bro. It's just like they're not criminals that are just trying to come over here and start trouble or anything. They just want a good life, just like anyone else.
Dígame sobre tu viaje aquí.
Vamos en el tren, pasando la selva.
¿Conoces la bestia?
La bestia,
Damn, that's
claro.
crazy.
Lo más peligroso fue Monterrey,
Subway
Reynosa. Te quitan la cantidad de dinero, te matan, te quitan los niños.
¿El cartel o la policía?
No, los carteles.
¿Sientes más tranquilo ahora en los Estados Unidos?
Claro, es.
¿Qué disfruta más sobre Estados Unidos?
Porque hay seguridad, este es un país seguro.
Claro.
¿Eres con tu familia aquí?
Sí, tengo mis 2 hijos y mi mujer.
¿Por qué viajas aquí a Estados Unidos?
Vengo de Colombia.
Colombia.
Colombia se está poniendo igual que Venezuela ya. No tenía trabajo, todo se está poniendo caro, no se consigue trabajo.
¿Haces la viaje a la bestia?
Sí, claro.
¿Con tu hija?
Con mi hija. 3 días viajando en la bestia con mi hija y 3 días en la selva del Darién. Con mi hija y mi otro hijo y mi señora.
¿Qué piensas sobre Estados Unidos?
Aquí muy bien, gracias a Dios, todo bien.
Bro, he went through jungle. He rode a train.
Are you a
All that
local
was his daughter.
Chicagoan?
I am not. I am from about an hour away.
Should we continue to be sanctuary cities, or should we say, hey, enough is enough?
We should continue to be a sanctuary city, and instead of complaining about the symptoms of why we have people coming in and what a strain it is on our systems, our resources, our communication, our transportation, we should help the antecedent issues with it. One, help the people find a way to make their countries better. Help the people find a way to assimilate in society, not just coming into the larger cities, but also into different parts of the US and even other countries too.
The biggest holder of the migrants in the city is just down the street.
That's a W lady, bro. Yeah. You know, I honestly I thought she was gonna go the other route, but yeah, that's a nice lady.
How is it impacting the city right now?
I have some friends who some of the migrants are staying next door to them. They're struggling with that a little bit. One day is empty
Did you do
building,
the
next
bunny
day there's a
ears?
community there, and they're complaining about the noise, they're complaining about some of the behavior. Kind of it's a tough situation because you feel sorry for individuals who's trying to make a better life for themselves. So it's like no
Unc rocking a fake beard.
one's fault, but then it's not a good situation for anybody. This country has a homeless issue. Now you can build tents and find places for people that wasn't here 2 weeks ago. What's this issue that you got homelessness in this country that you can't find money to do?
It looks like they're putting them up in like the fancy hotels too. That's what I thought was kind of interesting. It's not like they're putting people in the Super 8 motel.
Well, it's not premier. The location is, but it's like what's available. That was a hotel that's empty, so it's like, okay.
I know that of the projected city budget, it's supposed to be over 500 million in deficit next year. A third of it's going to be because of the migrant issue. Do you think there's going to be more awareness or protest in Chicago? Because I see some communities that are fiercely against it.
For them to just sit up here with this crap and we're supposed to listen to it.
I'm the deputy mayor for Immigrant, Migrant, and Refugee Rights.
These decisions need to be brought to the community.
How can you come into a community and dump people in our community? This is not fair.
It's going to destroy our business. It's going to destroy our hopes and dreams.
Some communities that are fiercely for it.
We should continue to be a sanctuary city.
So guys, I think I misspoke. I looked up Chicago residents happy about the migrant shelter and could only find protest videos. So looks like no one actually in the city is happy about it.
$500 million, that's a lot. Where was that before? Why is this migrant thing all of a sudden money is falling out of the tree?
Obviously there's a crisis at the border. Governor Abbott is shipping about 40 or 50 people from Texas every single day. How do you feel about Governor Abbott doing that?
It's sort of like, come on, man. You know what I mean? But then you say, okay, well, I want you to feel the pain that I'm feeling, right? I understand that, but it seems like that he's trying to make it difficult for you versus turn into a more political statement to show you up versus trying to really be helpful.
Do you think Chicago should continue to be a sanctuary city, I should say?
I think it has to be. I run the Chicago Marathon every year, and we talk about, oh, you run through all these different ethnic neighborhoods. So one minute we're saying we're this big international city, and then you can't be a big international city and not be welcoming.
Yeah, that's fact, so. It's like I said, these people are not coming in to like start crime and stuff. They just want a job and just have like somewhat of a decent living, a decent lives for themselves and their kids. So, you know.
¿Qué está ocurrido en Venezuela ahora?
Venezuela está hecho un desastre, ahorita no hay empleo.
Es la falta de gobierno.
Claro.
Piensa que
I didn't realize. Fucking, I'll just put it up here.
Maduro ganó la elección o no?
No. Ellos son los que llevan el control de todo, de máquinas las controlan ellos. Es la única forma que puedan ganar.
¿Qué es tu sueño de un trabajo?
Tener un trabajo estable y estar bien aquí.
¿Tú compras este coche en Estados Unidos?
Sí.
¿Cuánto cuesta?
$3,000. Aquí en Estados Unidos
Damn.
tú trabajas y tienes todo. Carro, moto, casa, todo.
¿Cómo peligroso es este barrio?
Un poco peligroso.
¿Conoces personas que fue robar?
Sí, robaron.
Catalizador.
Sí, también robaron.
Okay.
A un amigo también.
Escucho que fue robaron.
Se llevaron el catalizador. El carro estaba parado allá frente a la escuela, se metieron y cortaron.
¿Cómo es tu experiencia en Estados Unidos ahora?
Es un país muy bueno, estable.
¿Qué piensas sobre socialistas y comunistas?
Socialismo resulta ser como un cáncer.
Fixing his whip.
Hola. We come in here? Oh, I thought some of the guys invited us in. I don't know. Chicago is really cutting down on access here. I get it. Me gusta tu Jordans. ¿Cuántas semanas está aquí en Estados Unidos?
1 year, 3 months.
¿Qué es tu experiencia en Estados Unidos?
Una experiencia buena.
Hay algunas personas que están enojados. Ellos dicen, hey, hay personas sin casa que están americanos, veterans de guerreros que no reciben dinero o casas y ellos ven hombres de Venezuela reciben cuartos y más y ellos están enojados. ¿Qué piensas sobre esto?
Solo se ve aquí lo superficial, pero por dentro no saben cómo es por dentro. En un cuarto vemos 30, 20 personas, y una camilla pequeña.
Damn, how many people in one room?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola.
¿Qué estás cocinando?
Pequeños.
Muy rico y sabroso.
Rico, sabroso.
¿Disfruta tu vida en Estados Unidos?
Sí, trabajando para la familia.
Sir.
Muchas gracias por la comida, muy sabrosa.
Tommy G's a real one though.
El señor más guapo
Like his
en todo
videos
de
are so
Chicago
genuine.
aquí, So, ¿cómo es vida en Chicago? Más stable y seguro.
Sí, seguro.
¿Cuánto cuesta para un cortar de pelo?
Un corte, 40, 35.
No necesito un cortar. No, aquí, pero aquí sí. Mi esposo dice que es un salva aquí.
A Chicago,
Para la película, puedes mudar tu booty como esto. ¿Conoces twerk?
Twerking, yes, but no.
¿Eres un cocinera?
Sí.
Para vivir aquí, ¿cuántos dólares por día necesita?
20 la hora, sería bueno.
Tiene un buen día, okay? Guys, this has been very interesting to see. I mean, these people are making the best of their situation.
Damn, she said 20 an hour? Shit. I mean, she ain't lying, but you kind of asking for a lot. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
Making do. They're cooking in the park, they're building community, and they're doing the best they can. So you can't really fault the Venezuelans. We would do the same exact thing in their shoes. And literally everyone we've talked to, all they want to do is be able to work. That's all anyone ever said. No one said, I want a Lamborghini, I want a mansion. Let's continue this journey. Well, Chicago welcomed me. How much is this ticket gonna be? $75 ticket.
Eso lo paga YouTube.
Hey, he ain't lying.
And just a block away, we got the migrant crisis happening. What is that like, experiencing that in your neighborhood?
I believe that the city of Chicago should have did a little bit more for the residents, but it's like there's no order over here.
Some people are upset because they're saying, you know what, there's a lot of Americans here that need help. We have some really tough neighborhoods, we have veterans, we have homeless that we're not really taking care of. But hey, brand new people that just got here from Venezuela, put them up in a hotel, put them up here. What are your thoughts on that?
I work for the Department of Children and Family Services, and I see the homeless crisis happening in Chicago. In the wintertime, we're passing out blankets, but not trying to get into a heated place. I believe that the funds that's been spent for the migrants should have been spent for the residents here, stabilize them, and then move on to helping others.
So they say Chicago is going to be over $500,000 in debt, and a third of that issue is going to be because of the migrant crisis.
Damn.
What does that make you think?
The taxpayers.
Yeah.
One thing, I didn't support Trump, but I did support he wasn't bringing over more to the United States of America.
Should Chicago remain a sanctuary city?
I think that we should remain a sanctuary city under certain terms and laws, but not just busing 15,000 people over a day or no place to put them.
Yeah, I mean, his reasons is reasonable.
Venezuelan crisis impacted your life? They're right over there. There's hundreds of them. How is that impacting?
Anybody come into your house and say with you in your skin?
Is that what they're doing?
I'm talking about right here. It's cool if you know.
Wait, that's his actual voice, or he just like playing around? There's no way that's like his actual voice, right?
Venezuelan crisis impacted your life. They're right over there. There's hundreds of them. How is that impacting?
Anybody come into your house and say with you in your skin?
Is that what they're doing?
I'm talking about right here. It's cool if you knew me, right?
Yeah.
But you don't know me, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of awkward, yeah.
Do you think Chicago should still be a sanctuary city?
Oh, it always is a sanctuary city.
Do you want more people to come in?
I was like, what the
problem
hell?
coming is you staying without you paying.
When you see the Chicago government handing out tons of money, hundreds of millions of dollars to the migrants, but then we have our homeless, we have our tough neighborhoods, we have our veterans, what does that make you feel?
Where the money going?
Just down the street, there's hundreds of migrants. Across the city, there's thousands of migrants. How has it impacted your life as a Chicago resident?
It hasn't affected me though. I don't have no problem with it, you know.
Are you glad that Chicago is a sanctuary city?
Yeah.
So Governor Abbott from Texas, he's been sending migrants that arrive there. He's been sending 40 or 50 of them at a time in a bus, and now it's built up to thousands of migrants. What is your message if you could talk to Governor Abbott?
Slow down.
What you do for others, you should do for everybody. I believe that everybody needs help.
The next president runs goes on a platform of closing down our borders. Would doing that make you want to vote for him?
Nah, that would make me vote for him though.
All right, folks, we brought you an inside look to the Chicago migrant crisis. Thank you for watching, and as always, love you. See you next week.
Bro, W Tommy G for this video, right? Yeah, so at the end of the day, bro, these people are just trying to have a better place to live, a better life to live, especially for them and their kids, bro. They're not trying to have a fancy life. They're just trying to have the bare minimum as a human being. Like, subscribe, comment what you thought, and, you know, see you for the next one. Appreciate you.